Good day everyone, and thanks for subscribing to this channel. Now there is a serious tension in Ibadan as Yoruba and Hausa clash, which resulted in the death of Baba Ijebu. Yes, there was a kind of rift, a kind of clash between a Yoruba person and an Hausa person, and this has caused serious tension in Ibadan and has also resulted in the death of Baba Ijebu. Well, Baba Ijebu was only trying to be the mediator. He was only trying to reconcile the differences between the Hausa person and the Yoruba person when they were fighting. That's when they were arguing, rather. Trying to resolve the issue, he sustained injuries that led to his death while he was trying to settle the dispute between the Hausa person and his Yoruba customer. It resulted in his death. Well, this happened in Ibadan on Sunday at MKO Abiola Way. That was where it happened. And if he had known that this would be a serious issue that is going to take his life, then he would have been better off if he had just stayed on his own. Just that he was concerned so the fight won't lead to another thing. But at the end of the day, he lost his life. Well, it was an eyewitness, actually, a newspaper vendor, Remi Abimbola, that recounted the scenario with the Tribune online. And according to Remi, he said trouble started when an argument ensued between the Hausa trader and his Yoruba customer. There was an argument that actually ensued between the Hausa person that owns the goods and the Yoruba customer. Well, there was no report on the cause of their arguments. There was no report concerning that, on what caused the arguments. Probably it might even be balance issue. Probably. Well, no one knows. But Baba Ijebu came to resolve the issue, and the Hausa, yes, he came to resolve the issue between the Hausa person and the Yoruba person. And then, because of that, the Hausa motorcyclist pounced on him and beat him heavily. The interference didn't go well with the Hausa people around there, and they just came and beat him and pounced on him very heavily, leaving him with serious injuries. Well, at the end of the day, he died. It's a very, very sad story that the man lost his life while trying to reconcile the differences between the Hausa person and the Yoruba person. Well, this is really, really sad, because all these Hausa people, just any little thing at all, just any small issue, you will just see them, they begin to retaliate. They have this kind of violent spirit. They don't even want to hear what anyone is saying. Any little thing, they retaliate. And bad enough, none of these things can be done in their place, in their Hausa place in the north. None of it can be done. None of it can be done. That shows how bad this is. It's really, really bad. And then all these people that claim to be Hausas, all these people you see around that claim to be Hausas, they just hide under the cloak of being Hausa. They just hide under the Hausa identity. Well, normally, actually, they are from the Niger Republic or Chad. That is where they come from. They just hide under the identity of being Hausa and then do all sorts of bad things, all sorts of unthinkable and unspeakable things. Because Buhari himself has also confirmed that these people, they are not Hausas. They are from the Niger Republic and the Chad. But then, since that is where they are from, why do we let them in? How do they come in? Is it that there is no sort of security again, that anybody can just come into the country anyhow at their own will? And then, why should a clash between an Hausa and his Yoruba counterpart spark ethnic fights between two ethnic groups. That's how serious they take it. And then the government should try to resolve the way these motorcyclist riders operate. Yes, I know that there have been efforts has actually been put in place, especially in Lagos, to curb that's to ban motorcycle riding in Lagos. Yes, I know about that one. Effort has been put in place. Yes, and the federal government is also talking about how to ban bikes. But like, let's face it now, in reality, despite the fact that effort has been made to ban bikes in Lagos, well, I've noticed that even though they've tried, is not still stopping. That is very difficult to eliminate them. It's very difficult to try to stop bikes in Nigeria. But then the decision to ban bikes, like have it been considered from a different angle? Because there are some people actually that are not violent, that are not Hausa people. Some are Igbo, some are Yorubas, and they ride bike. I am very sure that the effect of this Okada ban is going to be very tremendous on them, because most of them, they actually depend on this for survival. Now, since the Lagos state government has banned bikes, tell me, how do they survive? How do they survive? Most of these people have families that survive through the bike riding. But then if the ban is actually initiated strictly, how do they survive? Well, I suggest that instead of banning bikes entirely, let there be something like an identity. Yes, like before you should go into bike riding, you can register. I think that kind of platform can be created. Register, and then let them be given something like an apron with maybe an identity or a tag you can use to identify them. I think this way, if any stranger should come to like maybe try to cause havoc, maybe as a bike rider, we would know. If any terrorist should come and hide under the cloak of riding bikes in order to cause havoc, in order to be a terrorist, we should be able to know. And then this Baba Ijebu issue now that's made him lose his life, well, I don't think he's the only one that this has happened to, because the way all these people, they are really, really violent. And then like, if one of them has an issue, you will just see them, they will just come out and start supporting him, and it can even lead to violence. And most of all these people, they have weapons hidden somewhere, and it's really dangerous. And at any slightest provocation, you see them, they bring them out and begin to attack, and at the end of the day, it turns out bloody. Well, I know of someone actually, he was just coming back from work, and then an Hausa person that was riding bike scratched his car. He came down demanding why his car was scratched, and then before you know it, his fellow Hausa people has come. They came ready to beat the man, ready to lynch him, but then the man entered his car and sped off. At the end, they attacked him and beat him seriously. Well, now presently this man is still in coma. Exactly the same thing. They are really, really violent. Even the way they carry arms is bad. And then the idea to ban bikes is going to have tremendous effect, because those people that are actually frustrated because of the ban, that are not terrorists, let's say they are Igbos and Yorubas that are not terrorists, is going to hurt them deeply, because that's their only means of survival. Then if there is nothing to do, if there is nothing they can lay their hands on, they resort to crime. That's why the crime rates is becoming really much because there is nothing anybody can do. Well, instead of opting to banning bikes, then it would be really better if like a system can just be created to allow for registering. If you know you want to ride bike, you should register. Then an identity will be given to you, something like a tag or a number, so that in case any stranger should intrude, everyone would know. And then talking about registering, there should be something like a limited number of people that is registered in a given region, so that there won't be overpopulation, something like that. I think that's going to be better instead of resorting to ban, because it's definitely going to affect several other people. Because considering the way Nigeria is right now, the economy is really bad, the standard of living is really low. So many people are definitely going to resort to some other means, and it's not going to help matters at all. It's not going to help matters. Well, what happened in Ibadan is really sad, and it's not just in Ibadan. It usually happens. It happens all over the place. And funny enough, all these things cannot happen in their own place, which is the north. It can't happen. So for God's sake, let's just try to maintain peace. Yes, let's just try to maintain peace. Thank you once again, and do not also forget to subscribe and like. Thank you.